So today we are going to make a video of a ball moving across the screen and changing size. So here's how we start off using keyframes. You're going to make a new Photoshop document that's 7 inches by 5 inches with 72 dpi. If you haven't done so already, you're going to click on Window and then Timeline to turn it on. Then the next step is you're going to create a new video timeline. You're just going to press that button. And my preference is to zoom way in on those mountains just so you can see every single frame. Then you're going to make a background on a normal layer. I'm copying this image and I'm going to paste it. It's Control T and I'm going to hold Shift. Okay, that looks good. Alright, so I'm going to relabel this one background. And this is just an empty layer. I'm going to go ahead and delete it so I don't get confused. And you'll see this down here, this timeline layer corresponds to this right here. Alright, then I'm going to paste an image that I want to move around, and that will be my basketball. Now, if I wanted to make any changes to that image, I would have to do it now. Luckily, the one that I copied had a transparent background, so I don't need to get rid of it. But normally, if you have a background, now's the time to take the magic wand tool and delete it. Okay? Then, you're going to right-click on the layer that you want to animate in your Layers panel. And you're going to click Convert to Smart Object. So I have now converted it to something called a smart object. So that basically tells the computer that all of these pixels move together. Okay? Now I'm going to add a motion path in a separate layer. I'm just going to call it motion path. And I'm going to want it to be underneath my ball, but over top of my basketball court. I want it to kind of stand out, so I'm going to pick light blue. I'm going to have my basketball come in on the left, bounce, and then disappear off to the right. And I'm also going to have it get smaller, and you'll see how to do that very soon. Okay. Next step. On the left side of your timeline, you're going to press the triangle on the layer that you want to animate, so not on the Layers panel. Okay, so I am going to click right here on my basketball, and this is the triangle that I'm talking about. And then you'll see 3 options: transform, opacity, and style. You're going to click on the stopwatch next to transform, and then you should see a yellow diamond pop up. Okay, clicking on that. So that basically means that I am going to create keyframes involving transformations. I'm going to position my object in the starting position. So I'm going to click on my basketball. Make sure my move tool is selected. I'm going to have it off to the side. And I'm going to have it start out pretty big, I'm going to say. Not that big. And then eventually I'm going to have it get smaller. Alright, so it's going to start there. And I already have a little yellow diamond showing up, so that means that it's already made a keyframe for where it's going to start. And let's see. I'm going to hit play and see at what point I want it to end up down here. Okay, that's a good amount of time. So where that playhead is, that's basically going to be where I'm going to add my second keyframe. So I have my move tool selected. I'm going to move my basketball here. And I'm also going to shrink it a little bit. Okay, so a second diamond should be automatically added to your timeline, which is your ending keyframe. Okay, so that's right here. I'm going to play what I have for you so far. I'm going to click this button, which is go to first frame. And Photoshop automatically added everything, which is so nice. And now I'm going to decide where I want, on my timeline, basically how long I want this rising action to last. So I'm going to hit play, and then I'm going to stop it when I think it should be off screen. That's pretty good. So now I can just go ahead and move it and change the size. And I'm going to continue to shrink it. And it's going to end pretty much right off screen. And I'm going to show you what all of that looks like. Okay, I'm going to turn off my motion path, and we're going to watch it one more time. Okay, once your video is rendered, it's not going to look quite as pixelated, so that's just what we have so far. Congratulations, you have successfully used keyframes.